Good. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, around the world, business, thinkers, Africans that want to take the world by storm, Africans that want to get into the moving train. The moving train now is innovation. The moving train is startup. The moving train is business. The moving train is legitimate money-making streaming businesses. So these are what we want to do to the glory of God. And we are excited to share some of these ideas with you. So as usual today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm with my colleagues, my friends and brothers in Europe. Now, we are not, there's nothing wrong in being in Africa, but for now we're in Europe. We are Africans that are based in Europe. So we are talking business, how to do business, how to do things, how to get into various endeavors, legitimate endeavors in Europe. Now, whoever is in Africa or any part of the world can also tap into these ideas, can also tap into the wonderful lectures my brothers and colleagues will be giving out. So this afternoon, we've termed it Talking Business, Launch Business Hour, because for some of us in Europe, this is lunch time, and we're using our lunch time to talk business. So with me, as usual, is a visionary, inspirational man. You all know him, leading political analyst. He has been there in so many of our events from the beginning. I'm talking no other person than Mazi Godson Azu. Mazi Godson Azu is the welfare officer for the Nigerians in Diaspora Organization, that's NIDO. And he's also the publicity secretary for the Council of Igbos in UK. So Mazi, with so much resume, is going to throw some light into the discussion today. Joining Mazi is the great man also, my friend, Honorable Matthew Ogaraku. Matthew Ogaraku is also very skilled in this discussion because he's a former technical instructor for Imo State, Nigeria Skill Acquisition Center in Imo State. Matthew also has been, was once a counselor in a city in Italy called Padua. So Matthew Ogaraku will be joining to throw some light and give us his side of this beautiful discussion. Lastly, not lastly anyway, this is giant in the field, you know, and when we see the giants, we know them. So Stephen Adeoye is our strategic manager, an expert in this discussion. He has been lecturing in Malta, Hanover, Lisbon, and some business seminars and training. So our man, Stephen, our friend, is also the owner and director of a business outfit in Hanover. And Stephen, as we've all known, is a member of the European Industrial Association, EIHA. He's also the co-founder of Soringa, a cannabis consulting company based in Germany and Portugal. I'm not leaving out my partner. He's here with me to coordinate, and that's Chuma Matthew. Chuma is a movie director, script writer, Schengen story coordinator in France, Paris, France. Chuma will be joining us also in the discussion. So, ladies and gentlemen, I open the floor, and we are beginning with our great brother and friend, Stephen Adeoye. Dr. Stephen, let me just throw this. Last time we had the discussion, I thought it would end there. I did it that we're wrapping up. But I came back and had calls from young Africans in Europe and even in South America that want to know more, and they say they want to have an idea of what they could go into with their little cash and all you've said to them. So let's hear from you, sir. What will you suggest to a new young business person in Europe, African business person in Europe?
Thank you very much, Honorable Distinguished Don. Thank you for this opportunity and the platform. I'm also really happy and excited to be among my colleagues, distinguished men and great, men in their field of specialization. Let me just, start because as I was told, I have 20 minutes to share a bit of, background of what, whatever amount of money you have, and you decide to be your own boss, and you want to set up a business that grows, and that you're not just going to be the only one for centuries, but that you will also create opportunity and wealth for others. You see, when Raphael and I, we are both the founder of GLI, when we started to think about what to do, because of the opportunities we have living amongst happy farmers in Germany, especially for me, I live among farmers, and I noticed that most farmers in Germany are happy people, and they produce food, and they were happy to do that. And they belong to one of the richest, group of business people in the country. So I kept wondering. And then for 2 years, I had about 12 to 13 experts who are mostly from Africa together to address the issue. So we together with Raphael and I and the team we brought together studied and understand the problem of food shortage, hunger, and poverty in Africa. Obviously, we keep asking ourselves why a continent blessed with resources, fertile land, had to import food from countries that hardly could produce 1 or 2 times, but they still have the possibility to feed us. Sad thing is also that we notice that most of them will come to Africa, study our plants or what we produce in agriculture, take it to their land, and make it something that we will always import as well. Let's take, for example, of Malaysia. Kwame Nkrumah in Ghana was a visionary. He started the idea of setting up, palm oil in Ghana. To the surprise of everyone, Ghana did not fluctuate in production of oil, but Malaysia did. Malaysia is the #1 in the world today in palm oil and the palm produce. Why was that the case? Well, they came to Africa, studied how this plant is, took it with them, got some people who are experts from Africa, used their brain, and they became the world producers of oil. You see, then today, the latest news that I read was that China is going to outproduce Ghana in cocoa production. And we noticed that they took brains of the Ghanaian experts 6 years long. They have been working on beating Ghana, and they are doing it, and they will. So these are issues that make us as a team, experts from Africa, began with our social entrepreneurship passion, begin to look at how, to develop a vision for reinventing agriculture and the value chain in Africa by using the vast resources in the continent, namely, number one, the small-scale farmers, which constitute 70% of farm, livestock, fish, poultry products in Africa. Secondly, street vendors. We thought of anybody who could just go on the street with any product to sell without being ashamed from morning till evening. Even if they do not sell, they still come back the next day and bustle through the busy traffic. Some of them are being hit. Some of them, don't make a dime, but they still go in. So these are, for us, resources, okay? We're talking about problems. What are the problems? The problems that is facing Africa and the farmers. Number one, they do not have, an injection of mechanization to increase yield. The land, if it is not fertile, they cannot do anything about it. They produce mainly for their family, and if it remains, they sell it to the market. They do not produce according to the demand of the market, but they produce and force their product to be sold in the market. There's also low yield. There's also financial difficulties. Banks in Africa do not give loan to farmers in Africa. And the list go on and on. You see, most small-scale farmers do not own the land. So they till the land and they're forced to pay ransom, for the land that they till. So, and you notice that most of the farmers are getting older. So eventually, if we do not solve this problem, we might start eating ourselves up in Africa. So obviously, we said what we should do basically is to create the opportunity for more small-scale farmers, not huge conglomerate farmers that import big machineries and have their own world of farming there and have hundreds of thousands of acres and having few employees, and they export their products out. So it's the same, using Africa as a raw material country. Most of them do not have huge machineries to produce. We heard about some rich people that send machines to produce tomatoes. That's all. And obviously, we decided, based on years of experience, you see, let me just put this across to those, our listeners, those who are saying, I have only 5,000 or 10,000 euro or whatever, I have nothing, but I want to go into business. Let me give you some of the issues that is making the headline news in the business world. You see, when the three guys, when they set up the Airbnb, the hospitality today, we all know their names. When they started, they had two things: air mattresses, and two, their entrepreneurial passion. And they have revolutionized the hotel industry, the accommodation industry, and travel industry today. Now, when we see that we are able to transform the agricultural landscape of Africa and to create opportunity for job and include those we know that they have already the passion, train them, make them, take them out of being street vendors, make them sales force. And this sales force will come with the totality of our slogan. Our slogan is from farm to dining table. So obviously, we decided to go through it all, not just to solve one problem and leave the other one out. We're going through the problem of storage in Africa. We're going through the problem of security in Africa. We're going through the problem of land, space, working with landowners to make them interested in working with us so that they will see how lucrative farming is. And then increase the yield by inputs that has been worked out for many farmers here for 40 years. And that could help to increase yield. Because can you imagine, let me give an example before I go into, giving, a kind of like advice to our listeners. Now, based on our so-called, crowd farming system or proposal, or the integrated agriculture and value chain, the idea was basically to use the resources that we have in Africa. We have 70% already of the farmers who are small scale. We have vendors who are very hard-necked people. They have the drive. We will use that drive to get to the end of the road, which is when the produce is done from the farm. If it goes through processing, no problem. It's also part of the value chain. So we get them up to distributing and selling to homes. Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that today life is not as normal as we used to have it. In Germany, the little, delivery companies, there's one called Gorilla now, and they are getting into 500 million US dollars. They've just started. In fact, Germany is one of the lowest in terms of the use of internet or the use of online shopping. But even that, you have people who have joined the wagon, and they are creating big impact in the industry. So, as I was saying, because of COVID-19, it is not conducive for people to be out there like we used to have in Africa, negotiate in the shops and in the on the streets to buy products. So a housewoman will be happy to have product delivered at the value or even lower the price that they can buy in supermarket or in shops. Why do we have that luxury? We have the luxury by having these people trained. They are called the marketeers. They will link with their people. They will have equipment that is good enough for them to be mobile, so that they can reach to as many people as possible. And they will have app which is going to be developed, and people will be using that to order, And one, you save people's life because they don't have to risk their life going to the market because of COVID. You then, secondly, you deliver food. You deliver all the things you produce fresh from your farm to the end users, to the dining table. So in that way, we then have to, there is no any business that you do, ladies and gentlemen, that you will not sit down, put pen on paper and write a business plan. Even if you have all the experts in place, you have to write business plan. You have to look for people who will be interested in your project, that they will finance it. You start doing pitching. You pitch investors. And to pitch investors, you need the following ingredients. Let me start with the number one, which is your company purpose. In your business plan, you need to write your company purpose. That's number one. When you want to start something, you have to communicate, the single declarative sentence which will actually start your business plan is for you to show that you know what you want to do. Actually, you sit down and decide what you want to do. And of course, it is easy to get caught up listing features instead of communicating your mission. Our mission is basically to reduce, poverty and hunger in Africa by producing ourselves and using the resources that is available there and to actually not see Africa as a raw material continent, but as producers that will actually link up with Europe and America and send product out and sell it to the entire world, starting from Africa first and then to the other world. So as I said, number one, your company purpose. What's your company purpose? What's your mission? What are you communicating to us? What do you want us to know? What is the issue you want to solve? You see, the three people who started the Airbnb, that is the hostel project, they knew that there was a problem. People don't have money to go to hotels, and some people want to have the comfort of being in a home. So then they decided, let's go for this, you know. And secondly, what problem do you want to solve with your business? There's always a problem. There's always an issue. There's always what some other people do not see. And obviously, you've got to address you have to describe the pain of your customers. The pain of our customers, for example, in Africa, is number one, they do not have mechanization to increase their yield. They have no access to land. They have problems as well with storage. They have problems with security. So in order for us to be able to put food on the table of the poor and the masses in Africa, we need to actually mitigate all that problem and create solution. And that is why we put our consortium together to create solution in order for us to also be self-sustainable in terms of food, in terms of poultry, in terms of meat, in terms of fish production, in terms of whatever we can produce in our continent. How is this addressed today? Okay, there are problems. So how is this problem addressed today? We notice that most governments do not address this issue. What most governments do is to issue importation license to get product into Africa to feed the masses. That has not been a solution. Number three, we've talked about problem, now solution. Explain your eureka moment. Why is your value prop unique and compelling? You see, why is it unique and compelling? Anybody we say we have studied 2 years long without making any contact, 2 years long, we studied how the situation has been so determined in Africa and how people have to go under despite the fertile land that they have and despite the resources that they have. So we then begin to solve problems in our own way and then began to write business plans and pitch so that we can make this known to those who want to support what we are doing. So as a solution, why will it endure? And where does it go from here? One, why is your value prop unique and compelling? Two, why will it endure? It's not just something, we're talking about a century of thing from generation to generation. It has been destroyed from generation to generation. Centuries ago, agriculture had been neglected in Africa. Not only neglected, they are killing those who are producing for us. They're not happy to put food on the table for us because we do not have the value chain that would support it. Number four, why now? If you cannot answer that question, why now? Why are you the best? Why do you now come this time? You see, let's face it. I wrote a letter to the governor of Oyo State. When the Northerners threatened to stop food transportation to the West, to Oyo State in particular. And I said to him, Governor, you know this is coming. This will come. But you have to make your people self-sustainable. How? So I explained to him how. I told him what we can do to solve the problem. In fact, I told him that part of our consortium is called Eagle Eye. They're actually there to put control and monitoring system, which is not to be seen. It's in the solar system, in the orbit. They created that. Look, the problem of Hertzman, it's gone when we have in our project, because it will show the camera or the system that we use will show on your screen, on the screen of the farmer, who is coming in, and there are deterrents to be used. So the security, the storage system, which is in place, we have experts that will do that. So basically, when somebody asks you in your widget or your project, why now? Number 4, you say, okay, nature hates a vacuum. Nature hates a vacuum. We've had a lot of vacuum in agriculture in Africa, and nature hates it. So somebody else will take it up. China comes in and study our rice system. China comes in. They are now a big producer of gari. Gentlemen, do you know that China is a big producer of gari machines, and they are now going into being the biggest producer of gari because there's a vacuum, and now we're taking it back. And I must tell you this: there's Mr. Azu on the line. We bear this witness with me. All those of us who are involved, I mean, he's also one of the giants, one of the brain behind the whole project. All those who are involved in our projects, you only see them with black face. We are Africans. We know the pain of Africans. We know how we can solve our problem to Africa. And one thing is this: we are not less codified than people with European faces. We are actually going to change the narratives, and that's what we're doing. In all we do, high-value crops, industrial hemp, whatever we do. So why not? Okay, answer the question. What solution are you giving? Why are you building it now? Why is it necessary? Of course, the answer is it is necessary. Nature hates vacuum. We've got to go into it and do it now and create opportunity for employment and for the reduction of poverty and hunger. Number 5, market potential. Identify your customers and your market. Some of the best companies invent their own markets. That's what we did in GLI. We invent our own market. We actually create out of people that has been neglected. In Accra alone, there are 7,000 street vendors. The government only kicked them off and sent them away. But what we're saying is, no, these are potentials. We're going to use them as sales force. So we create an opportunity where most of the government do not see. And I don't think they will see. Then number 6, I'm going to 7 only. Number 6, competition, alternatives. Who are your competitors? Who are those that you would want to take care of? You see, I was listening to a video, and the video says, look, we have to keep the Africans poor. We have to keep them poor. We have to keep them the way they are, like insane. Because if they got the trick, if they got the system, and they can do it on their own, then they will eliminate Europe, they will eliminate United States and Asia. No, nobody wants to do that. But you know what? There's what is called silent diplomacy, and that's what we do. We create silent diplomacy, we create competition out there, and we are ready. We are prepared to go ahead and if there's any competition, we're not afraid of competition because we show that we have a plan to win. GLI have a plan to win. Finally, number 7, business model. What is your business model? What makes you different? What will actually endure in the practice and the things you are doing? You cannot do it alone. You need to get brains. That's why, we Africans, let's come together. In our consortium, we have about 20 companies and 40 experts. And I'm happy to say 90% of these experts are African origin, living in Europe, in the United States, in different parts of the world. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to conclude by saying, it doesn't matter how much you have in your pocket. Once your plans, once you are able to define your purpose, you are able to solve a problem, provide solution to that problem, you identify the problem, provide solution to it. And if you ask why not you? Because you have what it takes to move and to get things done. So finally, market potential is also important for you. Alternative, as I'm just giving a summary, and business model. So I want to apologize because I use more than 6 minutes of my time. So may I just apologize for that. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you very much, our senior man, Stephen Adeoye from the GLI Germany section. Thank you very much. You went very far and gave great insights, even though also I wanted us to break it down to that level of what they can go into. But what you've just said, Dr. Adeoye, is you're giving the foundation to the micro, small, medium enterprises, MSME, micro, small, medium enterprise. This is the foundation of it. Thank you very much. So we're going further now. I want to bring in my friend, Matthew Ogaraku. Matthew, are you there? Yes. So get it right, please. The question is, we had calls from around the world asking what can I do? I have so amount of money. I don't know what to do. What business suggestions can you help with? So Matthew, the spotlight is on you, sir.
Thank you very much. I thank our caller and a good number of other people who may have listened to us for calling in and maybe taking advantage of some of the informations we gave out through our experiences. I also want to thank Schengen Story Magazine, Story Media for this opportunity. You see, how people live on Earth, what is training, what is education? People go out there to work on the experiences of others and then use it to make a foundation for themselves and grow. And then what Schengen Story Media has been doing all this while is to create a kind of point of reference for mostly young generations, the young adults coming up in Europe, trying to know what to do. Most time when you are growing, your big reference is your parents, and the limit of what you know is what they can offer. You can't do more than what you can only offer what you have. For this, sometimes they may have these difficulties or these questions coming up. What can a young man in Europe do? Good. If I may go back to part of my contributions in the past sittings, I gave a short story of the experience of early migrants to Europe. Remember, I informed us, because it's what we know, that early migrants from Nigeria went to America and England, and very few to some other areas. And they went there specifically to study and come back and get engaged in the service, public service, and maybe political service in Nigeria. I also remember reminded us that when some of those people could not be guaranteed their job after study, or some other internal issues that came in that doesn't permit or doesn't guarantee security of job, some people prefer returning in Europe. And by remaining in Europe, those who had the family already somehow think of bringing them together. Those who are young think of marrying either here or think of marrying from Nigeria and bringing them there. And as the day goes, our generation comes to what it is today. So I said then that what we had then was mostly of the first generation. Today, these youths that are talking about how to get integrated or what they will do here are almost the second generation. And I think the last of our series, I made it very clear that one of the things that was the early problem we had was there was no generational wealth. I tried to explain what was generational wealth. Generational wealth simply means if I have lived in Europe for some period of time now, either I have had a good experience of what environment is all about. I may have acquired some academic trainings. I may have worked in a company and had some good experience. I also, more importantly, I may have trained my children in this environment. Having trained them in this environment simply means they knew A, B, C, D of this environment. Those are the generational wealth. Their life cannot be the same like those first generation who came in. Remember I said, without knowing the languages, mostly those who went to other non-English speaking countries. And more importantly, most non-English speaking countries did not value maybe some academic preparations you may have made. So what does it mean when you get in there, you have to look for the miniature things you do to survive. So, but we have passed those stages because when you have your children here, whether you brought them here or you had them there, here, they had their educational trainings here, they have the other professional trainings here, they have the academic life here. So they have made the foundation here. Sometimes they even don't need this our advice because once you are trained, you know what you should offer. Then the advice we try to give them now should be, yes, if you are born here or you are brought up in Europe, live like an European. Yes, I also made it, I remember in our last sentence, I made it very clear that actually, yes, remember we are yet minority, yet we are seen as a lineage of migrant families, and then you don't come here and claim to have it all. So you have to tread with prudence. But what can sell you best? What can sell you best is your skill, your preparations, your trainings. Let's get it right. One of the things that is more easily done is to come in with those inherent culture, inherent experience. What are the inherent culture? Let me give us, because I like to be a little practical, soft and practical. When in different parts of Europe, mostly Nigerians, it is believed that Nigerians are strong, and they were easily employed in the area of metal mechanic companies, heavy equipment companies. I don't know Europe, they know their old histories, and then sometimes they're coming from there. They will easily employ them on the metal mechanic industries. The Asians, they always employ them on the hospitality, easily on the hospitality. Family help, working in the hotels, maybe also house help and agricultural help. Some of them, they use them in the, what do you call it, harvest and some of those temporary jobs. Some other people from Arab and the Muslim world, let me use that word, mostly Arab related areas, they were more on driving from courier services to HVG, driving, trailer drivers and all this or that. For a basic Nigerian, when you start talking of those basic jobs, because we call them basic in our areas, does not make them basic here in Europe. Let's get this point right. A trailer driver can get better salary than a medical doctor. Know that very clearly. And sometimes you don't depend on being, an employee of another. You start driving, you start, your own barbering salon. You start your own, bakery, as somebody said it before, or start working on those areas. Or maybe your generation may have worked there. And I remember what Tata Manja told us before, how before now, Scottish and the other people were having the street stores, but they were taken over by the Asians when they start getting old, and maybe their generation didn't want to do that anymore. Maybe they have used that to turn their generation to some other better level, and then that they are engaged in more professional job. So they were not ready to go into those elementary jobs. And then when they were living in the Asians who felt that was the opportunity took it over. That's exactly what mostly the generations that are coming from Africa should learn to do. We should learn to do some of those jobs they feel that are not so trended. It makes it easy for you, because when you take some of those professions that are not much trending, but are professional, they pay. What it will make you, it will get you integrated. It will avoid those heavy competitions that may make it difficult for you to fare well. And it will also give you that opportunity to understudy the realities. Because I remember what is happening in most of the European countries today. The Chinese will come in, they buy your bar, what you normally call bar in certain areas. I think in UK here, they have not succeeded in doing that. It's normally what's called pub here. They will buy your bar, and then they will work with you for a given period of time. One, for them to learn how to do the job. But another thing is for you to transfer your clients to them. By the time they are working with you in that bar, and then you who sold it to them with them there, showing presence for a given period of time. Before you know it, people, it's kind of a transition. People will accept them for being part of the system. So that's how, if you look at it now, in certain areas in Europe, most good part of Europe, most of the bars and the, tabaki shops, kiosks are taken over by Chinese. Just like in the UK, they are taken over by the Asians. Most part of Europe is taken over by the Chinese. Those type of things are what we also would learn to do. Another thing I think will help us is that your skill, learn, first of all, education is key. Don't just come in Europe and then feel that it is a place where you pluck money from from the tree. It's not true. It's never true. You have to do something to make sure that this money comes legitimately to you. So you have to work and start working hard. And then this work must have to follow standards. What is standard? Africans are used to not respecting time. I'm not trying to blame us much, but I think we're talking to ourselves. And let's face a little fact here. Africans are used to not taking things somehow serious. Here, whenever you take a job, you have to say how long it will last and when you are giving it up. Because what does that mean? If you say you are building, let me take smaller thing, because for them here, we talk of a bigger project. And then when you talk of a bigger project, a lot of things are linked to it. Let's say somebody is opening up a kiosk and you are a builder that comes in, or to do a part of it, or you're the builder proper who are to build part of such a kiosk. Then it requires that the electrician must finish his job in time, painter must finish in time, those who are bringing the instrument must finish in time. And then it is based on this program that whoever owns that shop will say, I will open my shop on 30 July 2020. And what does that mean? He also has called those who will be bringing products he will sell. He also think of employing people who will be starting work at a given date. He also has created maybe the security, every other thing that has to do with it. They are called chain lineup. Okay. It's not something you say, sorry, I finished, I couldn't finish, sorry, sir, maybe you kneel down or you bend down. No, those things doesn't work. It's not a system. Sorry is never, and in fact, in the UK, saying sorry is saying I'm guilty, and then guilty means get punishment. It's not saying sorry because I said sorry and then I'm pardoned. No. That's why they don't one, they don't laugh easily. One, they don't say sorry. And that's a very good standard because it means whenever I give you something, I'm paying you for it. It's a job, it's a profession. You get it done. And then once you get it right, you go for the next. Not only that, you're supposed to be able to know when you are finished, when you are going to finish a given project, so that you know when to take the next. It's not a matter of give me A, B, C, D. And then when somebody goes, sorry, you're here, sorry, you're here. No, there's nothing like sorry. It doesn't happen. It's not a way of doing things. Sorry is not a way.
No.
A way is standard.
Yes.
So when you know, you keep working in this standard and then do the things that is expected of you, you take it them. Another thing is that no job. Don't think of creating entirely new thing that you do not know. If you know how to be a barber or hairdressing, please do it. You can open, first of all, think of expanding it in a way that you can employ people to work with you. You can also have more shops in different locations to be able to do more. Here is not only the European people that has shops that has branches or filiales. Here, any other person can do it. When you look at Co-op of Sweden, that is everywhere, or Aldi, that is everywhere, or Asda, that is everywhere. Somebody made it. And then it is when you have this chain command of production and supply that makes every other thing work. And once people knows that when they come to your shop, they will get A, B, C, D. And they know that's how they get it. Automatically they go to, in fact, if you go in marketing, let us use this practical marketing. Any of you that is here, if you go to market today, even if it is here in Europe, what do you look at first? You look at all those things your parents normally buy. That's where you start before you think of making your own choice. Those things your parents are known for, that's what you do. You don't easily change it. It's not easily changed because you don't know the new things you're going for. It's only when friends and maybe by study, you know some other things. Man, that those things that comes to you naturally is those things that you are trained for, you know. In fact, when we came into Europe, we didn't know how to cook soup. At that time, there was an African shop. Let us put it this way. We don't know how to, let's bring it home. We don't even know what is vegetable. So until we knew what was spinach that looks like ogu, I think we started doing it. You cook ogu, spinach, and they use stew, mix it up, and then use what they call flour, and then do what is called what we may call pounded yam and related thing. And then that's how many. And once anybody eats this, he will be very happy because it takes him home. It's not the idea of no African would like to eat McDonald's every day, just like normally people do. Nobody would like to eat what do you call it, salad as food and go to, no, Africans won't do that. Despite how, even if you are born here, you will not be able to do it because that is in your culture. Our fabrics are not like theirs. So having said this, please come in if you are here, I'm talking. Sorry, my dear people. So, what I'm trying to bring to our generation, those who called us, is this. Don't think of completely complicated issues to come into. Those things that you know that is done in Africa, even those things your parents do, you know that's in Africa, they are still relevant here. A man who didn't cut his hair for 1 month will get mad. So we need barber. We need a barbing shop and the hairdressing salon wherever we are. So if in your city where you are, you find out there's not much about it and you know it's something you can do, please start from there. If in your city there's no African shop, think of if you can talk another one in a closer place, if they can be giving you such product to sell. Here, even where I am, some people are selling in their homes because there's no way you can, an African will stay without eating those typical. Then let's take it into businesses. When you have your skill, today we will not be looking for more of jobs that employs you. You go there 8 o'clock in the morning and come back in the night. We are now in the digital world. Get trainings in bloggings, YouTubings. Those jobs, don't look for every course is good. Please, nobody's saying that. But don't waste your time in looking for mechanical engineering. medical doctor, a lawyer. Most of them may not pay you as much as even doing your basic IT job courses that can help you to blog, build apps, build ITs, and then before you know it, you sell yourself to the world, and then you win the world even to yourself. Over here in UK, the person who does the collection of what do you call it, the plastics in the whole of UK is a Nigerian. He's a Nigerian. And when this plastic are collected, the whole of UK, separated, reproduce raw materials and resell, first of all, he's creating job. He's creating raw materials. He can be partners of where he supplies even those raw materials and just this or that. Okay, so I want us to not look at it as if to say we're in a strange place or looking for new things to do. You have to train in all those areas that you know that will help you to be professionally upright, so that your profession will sell you. A lot of people does a lot of things about sport this time. It takes you many places, from football to every other sports. Here, you know that you have schools that trains you from childhood to become, if you can't go professional, you can become coaches. All those is a job. Don't start, when you think of what to do in Europe, don't start thinking something completely new. Think of what you know about it, trying to get it done, and then learn how we can be able to be the best out of it, knowing fully well, I have always said it, knowing fully well that this is not it's not necessarily your background. So for you to fly in this background, you have to be best. Try to be the best in what you do. Once you be the best in what you do, definitely you will sell. And in this case, this is exactly the best way to think, because when they know you are doing it good, definitely they will come to you. And that time, your color, your background, the lineage of your parents may not matter anymore. Obama, who became president of America, they knew he came from Kenya, but he remembered that he was speaking better than John McCain he contested with. He was speaking English better than John McCain, who is an American, okay? That's the type of thing you must do to win. That is the type of thing you must do to win. You don't stay and say miracle. Please, we should stop thinking. I am a believer, I'm a Catholic and practicing, but I also believe in hard work. I believe in professionalism. I believe in doing things right. Then you can call, God will help you to do it, but you must have to do the basic things you must do to be able to get to where you should be. So, brethren, wherever you are, it is necessary for you to be prepared, knowing fully well that nothing comes easy. Every rose has a thorn, and you must have to be able to defend yourself from the thorn in order to get the flowers, the rose flowers in a. So here in Europe is a place that you have a lot of opportunities by God's grace, and you have to grab it by being a professional, knowing what you should do, keeping the standard, keeping the codes of conduct, keeping the code of relationship, and then conduct yourself in such manner that will make you that people will not look at you as an opportunist, but a serious-minded individual. I don't want to take you much. I don't want to think of much to tell you. I want to tell you, we have everything you do in wherever you're coming from. Think of doing it here. And then once you do it here and do it right, you will succeed. That's why I want to rest my case for now. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, my good friend, Matthew Ogaraku. Matthew, you just hit the nail right on top of the head. I like this last statement. The last statement touched me. Africa has been robbed with this mindset of miracle will come from nowhere and just happen. So it has made a lot of young people sit and just wait for that miracle that will never happen. There's a slogan we used to say back in the days in Africa. It says, heaven helps those who help themselves. Even if a miracle will come, one has to be in the motion. Is that not so, Matthew? One has to be doing something and make an effort, then that help will come. So, but the mentality of just waiting, and that is what is happening in Africa with our people in Europe. So, wonderful contribution there. before we go to our next brother, our sister, a black sister from Guyana, like I told you all, she called and said she's following up. So we are lucky to have her online. She's just waking up. So I want her to say something to you all so you can hear. So this is Allison from Guyana. Allison, go ahead and say what you want to say. They are listening.
Hello. Hello, gentlemen. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Can you all hear her? Can you hear? Good. Go ahead.
Yes, we can. Good morning.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Mark, for having me here on this platform.
Yes.
I'm very much appreciative. First, I should say that I'm so impressed with the way how things are going, and the way those gentlemen speak, because I am a small entrepreneur or businesswoman, and most of, or I should say, all the things that the guys are saying, now it resonates well with me, because I can say that they're saying things that are right, because and also it helps me too with my business, to go forward. And the things that they say, are very, very, very much impressive with what they're saying.
Thank you.
To me. Yes. So I should say that keep up the good work. And, I hope that most young people, well, I'm not that young again, so I hope that most young people will, come on board and listen to what these gentlemen are saying, because it is very, very much beneficial to us, or to them too, once they apply themselves, and things would work for them, just like how it is working for me. But, you must start from somewhere. You must start from somewhere. No matter how small it is, you will get there. So that is my take. And thanks once again, Mark, for having me here. I'm just waking up, but I'm here, nevertheless.
Thank you.
And thanks again.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Good. Yes. Kata and Maja, did you hear her? Azu, are you with us?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard what she said. That's good. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Allison. So Allison is calling from the other part of the world, Guyana.
Yeah.
Yes.
I heard her very well, and that's very impressive and encouraging. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay. So Allison, thank you. I think you can sign up now. Okay. Yes. Thank you very much. You guys are, this is it. I mean, we don't need millions of people to tell us what we're doing is right. Sometimes you could do something and all you're doing is to just help one person, and that one person will now bring probably the millions. So when she called during the week, that was what necessitated this fourth round of this discussion, because she said, wow, one thing that also excited her was seeing her own black colored people. She's not African, like she's not Nigerian, she's Guyana, but she's black. There are blacks there too. So seeing her own colored black people saying these things, she said it's very impressive. She said she had goosebumps hearing some of what you guys were saying. So once again, I said thank you. Matthew Ogaraku has smashed the nail on the head, giving all the what young people could look into. Everything is, like he said, everything old is still very open to be done. So nothing should be taken minor. Everything is as credible as money income streaming as possible. So thank you, Matthew. Thank you so much. But I have a lot of work to do. I'm going to really edit so much, because in between Matthew's lines were calls, but it's okay. Now we're moving forward so that we can round up. We have our man here, the Kata and the Baja man, the business minded man. Azu is so excited about saying the things he says because Azu sees results in what this brings. Azu, is that not so? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Obviously. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again to share my ideas and experiences as a rising and emerging entrepreneur and business major consultant here in the UK. Looking forward to develop my skills and make relevant impact within this specific area of my business venture. It's been going on for a couple of years, and we've been believing God, just like everyone have said earlier on, Mr. Adeoye and Mr. Matthew Graku, looking at the issues that can really encourage us in the ethnic Black minority groups in the diaspora to get more involved and get more enthusiastic about setting up a second or third income streaming businesses. You can still be an entrepreneur and still be in a full-time job, and you can also be an entrepreneur by setting up a business of your own and take the absolute risk of pursuing your vision, your dream, your passion, your desire, your ideas, and build your own income and business capital and establishment from the scratch. Many people started their great businesses in those two dimensions. There are those Boaz, the guy that owns Amazon, started Amazon as an online book selling platform. He was actually selling books online, and today he's gone to sell almost everything sellable in the world. And he's gone from selling from Amazon to building one of the most sophisticated and advanced distribution centers globally. And these are the imaginations of human capacity to innovate in every aspect of our endeavors. Last time I spoke about clearly understanding what entrepreneur means. We all need to understand what it means to be an entrepreneur and why are we an entrepreneur, because these are just obviously most recent time definitions that are put to age-long business interaction. Because if you go back to Africa, people have been in entrepreneurship for centuries, but nobody really called those concepts entrepreneur as at those days. But today, they fashion it out to be entrepreneurs' dream. But then people have been engaging in this aspect of business engagement and transactions for centuries. And so what is an entrepreneur? An entrepreneur is a person who sets up a business or businesses by taking on the financial risk with the hope of making profit. That is what it means to be an entrepreneur. You go into a business or businesses with the risk factor behind your mind, and the end result should be about making profit. To be an entrepreneur at most times is not easily a social charitable venture. Though we have what we call social entrepreneurs. Social entrepreneurs, in other sense, also have a mindset of achieving a particular set of goals. And out of that particular set of goals is about making money for the organization, for the institute to be able to keep that institute or that organization afloat. And so, but the first thing is to understand that as an entrepreneur, you go into any business or businesses with the mindset of taking a risk. You are taking a risk. And one of the risks is you either juggle between your 9-to-5 full-time job and the business idea you are initiating. And if time is not taken, you may end up losing your full-time job for the risk you are taking, and at the same time lose the venture you are setting up if you don't give equal time and do not structure and plan your vision for those two along the line. And so it's quite important to understand. And there is another word that is not common.
Sorry, Azu. The other caller from Germany. Sorry, I'm very sorry to cut you off, Azu.
Yeah.
The other caller from Germany has called, and I don't want to miss his call. So I'm going to make him speak briefly, and you continue, please. This is from Germany. His name is Saeed, a Nigerian. Saeed, go ahead.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, I just want to say this program, I've been following this program since for the past 2-3 weeks now. And I must tell you guys that this is a very nice program. And this is really educating people, you know, the young generation, let's say. So I hope we can come, I hope you guys can come up with more details about how to do more business in Europe, because a lot of our people don't have so many ideas of what to do, and this kind of program that we'll be expecting from people, and I'm glad that I find this program through Mr. Mark.
Thank you.
So I just want to appreciate your contribution to the community, to the Black community. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Said. Did you all hear that?
Yeah.
Please, that's Said from Germany. I think Stuttgart. Is that Stuttgart?
No, from Berlin.
Berlin. Okay, Berlin. So he's following. This is one of the calls we also had before this time, and I'm laying this back to you to tell you how much what you're doing is. Thank you very much, Said from Berlin. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. So go ahead, Mazi. Mazi, sorry for that. I just have
that's fine. That's fine. Thank you, Saeed from Berlin, for actually following up with the program, for the comments. Those are well commendable comment. We highly appreciate your support. Like I was saying, there is the other phase of entrepreneur. This other phase is called an entrepreneur. You have an entrepreneur, and then you have the entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is spelled I-N-T-E-R and then P-R-E-N-U-E-R. Entrepreneur are those individuals who have the authority or are encouraged by other systems in which they belong to come up with creative ideas. They create products, you know, like you go to big companies like Coca-Cola, like Mercedes-Benz, BMW, Perkins Engineering. The guys who design most of the concepts for the production of these final products, like the cars, the drinks, are known as entrepreneur. They are paid to be creative in the industry they belong to, but actually it is not of their major interest if the ideas generate money for those who need it or not. But at the end of it, what they are there to do is paid to create new innovations, create new systems within the organization they belong to. It could be small, it could be large, it could be medium. So it's important to understand these two concepts, especially within our Black community. There are those of us who are actually entrepreneurs, and there are those of us who are entrepreneurs, those who are actually creating products where they belong, where they are engaged in services or in work at their various endeavor. And also how we make use of these opportunities to generate income or generate a strong link in our community is very, very important. So for today, I'll be going further to look at key things I've put down here. Starting up a business in the African community, starting up a business in the African community or within the Nigerian community in the diaspora is as much as the way other communities are setting up their own various business networks or business ventures. The only difference between the Nigerian or African community at large is the manner in which we go about creating this venture partnership or individual enterprise is a little bit different. When you assess and examine the nature and the condition in which the Indian communities or the Pakistani communities or the Israeli communities or the Chinese communities venture into all kind of businesses they do in the diaspora is quite highly advanced and dynamic from what most of us in the Nigerian or African community are experiencing in terms of developing business ventures in our community. The key thing here is most of these other communities take time to understudy the kind of business they want to go into. They take time to understand the kind of business that flourishes within their community, and they take time to understudy such businesses before venturing into it. And you find out, like, for example, the Indian and Pakistani communities knows that one of the greatest needs of their community is to access some of the essential needs, daily needs of life. And as such, they begin to look at how do we meet the essential needs of our communities all over the place. That is how we came about. That is how they came about the creation of corner shops. The corner shops came about as a result of the fact that most of them came from India, and in India you find out that there is always an accessory shop nearer to every home, so that at any point you need something urgent, you don't need to start running around, driving far, going too far from your home to get that at least essential need. And as such, when most of them started coming over to Europe, especially in UK, and they begin to see the increase in population of their community in every areas of their settlement, one of the most important businesses they went into was creating corner shops to serve the essential needs of their immediate communities in those areas that they are concentrating upon. And so many Nigerians did not capture this idea in time, because most Indians and most Indians especially, and most Chinese essentially, came into Europe, especially in the UK, to study, just like the Nigerians also came to study. And many who couldn't go back decided to stay. And observing the number of those who are staying behind, and in order to meet their needs, they started creating ventures that will meet their needs, rather than for them to be waiting for parcels to be sent from India or China to be able to meet their immediate consumption needs. And so, but the Nigerian community, we depended on what others created for us to access. While we circled our mind, we kind of encircled our mind to the factor of we are here to study and do white-collar jobs, work in study, finish, and go to be a lecturer in university, or study, finish, be a doctor in the NHS, or study, finish, and look for a company to work. Much easier here in the UK because of the language, the language advantage, but much difficult for those who went to Europe, because then you have to study. After studying, then you study to understand the language, study to understand how to write the language, how to write in that country's language, and how to communicate. There's difference between social communication and business communication. in terms of language use. And so for you to be a good business in Europe, you have to understand how to communicate in that country's language business-wise, or else you just wasting your time. And so while other countries were busy understanding those factors, Nigerians were busy running after acquiring education, and then letting go the opportunity of entrepreneurship. So how do we resolve this issue? One, understanding your business dream, understanding what business, for me, a lot of people think that business, especially in Africa, is only about trading, buying and selling, buy shoes from Abba and come and sell in Germany, or buy tire from Germany and go and sell in Nigeria. Yeah, those are good. Those are part of the traditional entrepreneurial trading concept. But beyond that is other essential services that you can venture into as an entrepreneur. And that is one of the key things why, if you when you mention UK in the last 20-25 years as an emerging economic powerhouse in Europe and around the world, you'll be looking at them from the point of view of their service products, their service export, because Britain ceased to be an industrialized country in the last 30-35 years. And above that, they've moved on from providing banking services, high-tech services, and business consulting to many countries. And as such, the revenue generated from those services back to the UK has kept the UK economy as buoyant as and as equal to any other industrialized nation in the developed world among the G7s. And so as Africans who can renovate or innovate things from the traditional trading concept of businesses in our community in the diaspora, we need to begin to think, what can I do in the area of finding the business that will be of a great passion, that I have passion in, that I can go into as an entrepreneur. When I put some things down here, yeah, you can turn your hobby, you can turn any of your hobby into an entrepreneurial business, your hobby. Yeah, just like what Schengen Magazine are doing. It's a hobby. Probably they like media presentations, engaging people through media. It's a hobby. So you can set up a hobby, you can set up an entrepreneurial business out of your hobby. Some of us came into what we are doing today out of the hobby of what we like, what we passion. I started writing right from the moment I was in my first degree in university. I started having the idea that I need to go into writing books. And by the time I was doing my master's, I was already completing my first book. And then, you know, it become, even though it's not about the potential profit of it, but for the fact that there is a passion towards it, that I need to go into this because it's part of me, writing, researching, looking at informations, putting informations together to create a book. I know people who have been trying to put a book together for the last 15 years. They've not been able to complete 5 or 6 chapters up till now because it's not their passion, because they are combining their 9-to-5 day pay job, and at a point they are wondering, like, will this book make money for me to alternate the income from my wages? And so the book will lie there for many years without being completed because they don't want to take that risk of putting enough time and energy in pursuing that passion and chasing that passion to the end. So you find turning your hobby could be public speaking. There are people who can speak very well and can turn that into an entrepreneurial business by being a public speaker. There are a lot of, in 10-15 years ago, nobody knew what is public speaking. People just go and talk anywhere and go for free. But today there are people who go to speak for money. You just need to find out, how do you go to speak and be paid to come and speak? So it's a business of its own. So the African community should begin to engage into, how do I turn my public speaking to money? You can turn it to money by by showcasing your ability, by being in the eye of the people at all time, people identifying you to be a good speaker. And when they are doing events, they will always recommend you. And when you are recommended for big speaking platforms, you put a tag of what you can get at the end of the day. You know, public speaking is like, you know, when some of us were growing up in the church, some people used to say to me, oh, you'll be a good pastor. And you know, a lot of people went into pastoral job because when you are invited to other churches to preach, there's always a brown envelope going home with you, which you will share to your church and take some to your pocket. And actually, the actual essence of that public speaking started from the church. And up to today, they still do it. A lot of pastors go to make more money from going to parish preachings, go to branches preachings, go to invited church preachings. They don't go there for free. They go, they exercise that services, and the church appreciate their coming by giving them a brand envelope at the end of the service for them to thanking him for coming. So that is another area. You could be a storyteller. There is a business called storytelling. People do storytelling. Now, in those days, storytelling is like a social miscrop, where people just sit down in their local villages and talk about what happened in the 2016, 70s, and then people just laugh and go about it. But today, people do storytelling, even in the developed world. Storytelling now is becoming a commercial entity. And so we need to ask ourselves, am I a good storyteller? How can I be a good business person by being a storyteller? So we need to encourage these things in our community rather than all these other traditional businesses we have. Are you a good compare? Compare is a big business. To be an MC at event. Some of us used to go and do MC at our friend's event for free. But a white man to do event for you, MC in any event for free, that relationship must have made him so much money himself to do it for free for you. If not, he will, before you consult him, you go to his website and book appointment and pay for him to come and MC your event. MC, good ideas of businesses that we can. Acting and writing. Some of us could be good actors, but we don't know. But once we discover those areas, we can turn it into business. Painting and interior decoration. Some of us are still inviting other people to come and paint our house, decorate our house, put some certain things in order in our houses. Our fellow Nigerians, I know a few of them who are into such ventures like painting, electrical work, plumbing, helping to keep your house in order. These are very, very vital service businesses that Nigerians can go into when they have the vision for it. Coaching. The coaching is another aspect of business that is not part of the traditional business we go into. Coaching, you know, coaching people, mental health coaching, health well-being coaching. All these are innovatives that are coming in that we as Africans and Nigerians need to go into. And then when we look at what I call ECHO, there's what I call ECHO, which is enabling consultative occupation. Enabling consultative occupation. Enabling consultative occupation are such as the services that are rendered by most other ethnic groups that very few Nigerians or Africans are establishing such businesses in our communities. We have to dig deep to be able to find out any Nigerian that owns any of these type of businesses. And such businesses are like accountancy. We struggle to find a Nigerian accountant that can manage our other businesses accountancy. So we need Nigerians and Africans to begin to look into all this area instead of us setting up businesses and still go to give our money to an Indian accountant or a Pakistani accountant or a British accountant or an Italian accountant. We can recycle that money within our Nigerian community by also encouraging anyone that studied accountancy to open up a one-man business, a sole trading business of accountancy, and then help to guide our accounting problem. You know, why most Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladesh, Chinese and Jewish people are successful is because those who manage the accounts for them are their people. And these people understand the loopholes in the system, in the accounting system, in the banking system. So they make sure as somebody from their community, you are not losing to the government, rather you are taking more from the government. They organize the accounting system to the point that they know what they want you to declare to HMRC that will not be questionable to you. But at the end, you are making thousands of money, but they declare you not for profit. You are not making, you didn't make profit. And then at the end of the day, the government pay you certain amount of money for running a business consistently with accounting records, but you are not making profit, or you didn't make profit. So, but if you're a Nigerian and you take your accounting to a white man or an Indian man, he would make sure if there is no good understanding between you and that accountant, he will make sure he makes your book open to the point that if you are not serious, you pay more to the HMRC than you are supposed to pay, except you understand what the system also is about. So we need our accountancy businesses to be more in our community. We need legal services, people to go. We have lawyers in our midst. Why should we be taking our immigration cases to foreigners when we know that if you are not careful, the foreigner will put you into more trouble, even though we understand the way our own lawyers behave too. But then that does not stop us encouraging our lawyers among us to develop a business concept, business idea to open firms for legal services to our community. Legal services in Nigeria here today, we encourage the Nigerian embassy to identify with key Nigerian lawyers in the community, so that if there are cases they have with the Home Office, if there are cases they have with the police, instead of going to a British lawyer first of all, or going to a foreign lawyer first, they consult with our expert lawyers that are within the community to advise on how they can go about it, or to advise the individual involved in the case on how to go about it and how they can come out of it. Because there are some loopholes in the system. The white man will not tell you. There are some loopholes the Indian man you went to meet will not want to tell you, because he knows if he tells you, you will open up on how their people are benefiting from it and your people are not benefiting from it. So, but if our lawyers are being honest to themselves and they understand those loopholes, they will open it up to our people, and our people will be well guided and will have less problem defending our community in any legal issues. So we have other forms of business encouraging, like Nigerians should be able in the community to have business consulting platforms, such as what Schengen Magazine is doing now. What Schengen Magazine is doing now is like a business consulting platform where we share ideas, you encourage people, you advise them, you channel their ways on how they can go about setting up businesses in the community. So once we are able to understand the kind of business we want to go into, the second point is having a vision for the business, a strong vision. And when you talk about vision, you're talking about being innovative and dynamic. Being innovative and dynamic. You must not be static. You must learn to be flexible. You must not be rigid on the kind of business you want to go into, but learn out of space and time how you can make that business grow with what is happening around you. Last time I spoke about what somebody told us in a meeting like this, a phrase he called case. Case means copy and steal everything. Case, copy and steal everything. And so that is what he said the Chinese and the Indians did when they started coming to Europe and America. And that is why you see them growing faster than even the developed world in terms of technology and in terms of business orientation. If you go to America today, most of the highest number of CEOs of big tech companies and multinational companies are either Indians or Chinese. Why? Because they came to America, they came to UK, copy, steal everything they can, and they go back to China and replicate, go back to India, replicate. And at the end of the day, the British and the Englishman outsource most of those services to China, to India, to produce, to work on, and bring back to Europe and bring back to America. So we Nigerians, we have a lot of our Nigerians, instead of them to begin to work on those ideology, if I may call it ideology or philosophy, copy, steal everything. Anywhere you work, instead of giving all your brain to them and they use it and pay you salary, why not copy everything you give to them, and including the one you find there, and knowledge transfer. What do we mean by knowledge transfer? This is the key element of knowledge transfer. So we have a lot of opportunities in that area. And thirdly, understanding what amount of money you have to do your business. There are businesses you can start, like somebody said, 10,000 euro. There are business you can start with 1,000 euro. There are business you can start with 2,000 euro. Honestly, the no-skittle business we are doing, the investment capital we put into that business is about 15,000 euro. And we are building the business on a gradual basis. There are a lot of people coming, even though we are still looking for more investors to invest and partner with us in it, as we work towards the full registration of the product in Nigeria by NAFDAC, which is going to cost us about $10,000 to get that done officially in NAFDAC. You understand? You don't need 100 million, you don't need 200, you don't need 10, 20, 50,000, $100,000 or euro to start a business. With $5,000, with $2,000, public speaking, you may need only $2,000 to start a public speaking. How? Set up a website, set up a Facebook, pay Facebook for about 2-3 months, probably spend $500 or euro to market yourself on Facebook, and I assure you in 6 months you get 1 or 2 contracts if you publish yourself well. And so ensuring that you have the capital, especially if you are working full-time and you are able to raise much more money aside, you can be able to do that. Set a target. In the next 1 year, I want to put aside $2,000 to start this business. You know, printing, publishing, writing, whatever. You can start with 2,000. I started my writing book with only 2,000 pounds, and today I have 3 books in the market. And as much as they keep increasing sales in the market, your spirit and your motivation to write more keep increasing, and your ideas keep opening up on what to do. And number 4, be informed. Be informed. Don't just stay. There are people who have been in one job for 20 years. They don't know what is happening in other areas even in the employability community. Not even to talk about business community, because there's difference between employability community and business community. There are people that have been working in for example, Schengen magazine for 20 years. They don't know that there are other magazines around that they can go and find out if they need employment, they need people to work for them, or they can change job to another magazine company. They just feel that this is the only life they have, this is where they can work, and they're working there, and they are not even sure that whether the salary is equal to what they pay others somewhere else. So there is need to be informed. What Schengen magazine is doing now is to keep us informed, and using us to keep others that will be watching this program informed of what our community, how static our community is in terms of engaging in innovative businesses, expanding in their business ventures in the community. You know, is being informed and being ahead of what is happening, being ahead of it. You have to be informed and being ahead. Don't just be informed and then you go and close your eye and sleep, and then the next day you wake up again, you continue from where you start. No, be informed and be active, be proactive, and be ahead of the system, you know, and be focused. Finally, be focused. Be focused. Be focused. You need to be focused in what we intend to do. And I know today some of those things I've mentioned is already emanating or evolving in our present generation in our diaspora communities, unlike 20 years ago when it was difficult to see some of these services growing in our community. Most especially here in the UK, for example, I know that there have been a huge increase in the number of Nigerians who owns accountancy firms that are serving accounting problem for our community. We have the association of ICANN, the ICANN fellows in the UK, and these members are also encouraging themselves to set up accountancy services to most of our communities. We also have the increase in number of Nigerians setting up law firms, especially in most highly dense Nigerian community areas in the UK. And that is encouraging because people now can be able to have a bit of a trust among our lawyers to help them out with the law or legal services in the community. So we have the Nigerian Bar Associations Forum, the forum of all Nigerians that practice law in the UK. And also that forum is being able to help Nigerians in the law practice to know what to do and how to establish their own small soliciting firm, or even merge. Like my business name is Keta and Merger. Keta and Merger is simply looking at people who want to find partners, who want to find venture partners, who want to merge together. And we have to begin to look at these areas of expansion and encourage people to work together. I wasn't surprised yesterday night. I saw a new dynamism in the media community in the UK, whereby 3 good media houses that have been existing in the UK and be struggling together to survive in the mainstream media market in the UK with the bigger medias have decided to come together to merge and become one big family of media. I'm talking about Ben TV, Yanga TV, and Channel 7. These 3 media companies have resolved a business merger agreement and have agreed to form one of the biggest African TV station to give space to all Africans and the Caribbean community and access to media platform in the UK. And this is a wonderful news for me, and I think it's a wonderful news for many people who are struggling with their personal businesses and are hoping to find other like minds in the business community to merge together and create a strong bond that will make our businesses in our community a more stronger and viable and enterprising business community. So I think we need to encourage ourselves, encourage our community to begin to look inward, to begin to look at themselves, to begin to encourage one another, to begin to ensure that if we are going to be competitive in this ethnic minority congregation of communities in the diaspora, we need to be ahead of what others have been doing. We need to be very positively aggressive to those challenges in order to be able to access the opportunities, access the funds, access the platforms, and utilize them to grow our community businesses. We cannot live in the fact of or denial that with close to 15 million Nigerians as being estimated living across UK and Europe, we cannot do businesses that to make. I mean, for me, I asked somebody was asking me the other day, can you find me 5 Igbo millionaires in the UK that are doing business in the UK and made so much money? I find it difficult to pinpoint anyone. I had to be asking people, do we have an Igbo entrepreneur who is a millionaire? And in my search online, I came across the richest black man or the richest black entrepreneur in the UK. He's a young man, around 60 years old, from Zimbabwe. And I was like, Zimbabwe of all nations, the man could be from Zimbabwe. And I Googled and I asked some of my Zimbabwe friends, and it was clearly confirmed and verified. And when I dig deep, and I realized he is the first black billionaire in the UK that estimated about £2 billion in his investment portfolio in the UK and across Africa, you know. And then I was like, really? So where is the Nigerian community? Where are we playing our game? How are we playing our game? We need to begin to discover these elements in Germany, in Italy, in France, in Portugal. Who are the Nigerians that are turning things around, that has the capacity, the capital that we can work with, that we can call upon and say, look, this is what we want to do in the community. We need you to be the financial backer of this particular investment. And I tell you, by the time we begin to do, and I know Schengen Magazine is doing a lot, and I hope that they can go as far as that. They can go as far as researching on how do we discover our Nigerians who are doing, there are a lot of them, but it's been difficult to find them. And sometimes when you find them, it's been difficult to encourage them to come to the limelight or to even be part of what will make Nigeria great, especially those of us who are dual citizens in the countries where we belong to give our host country the courage to open up more for us to venture into the kind of businesses that are available in those countries. So I want to leave it here for now. And I believe that across UK and Europe, there are a lot of young men there, young ladies there, who have found their feet, and they are still struggling with all kinds of odd jobs, and they are having no strong faith to venture into any kind of entrepreneurial businesses because of the fear of losing income, or losing their ability to pay their rent and keep their family going. There is nothing in life that is not without a risk. You have to take a risk, but take a very well calculated risk, and look at what makes business viable for you. It may not be the same thing that makes business viable for me. Look for what makes business real to you. It may not be the same, but then by sharing your views and sharing your ideas and sharing your potentials with others, you will be encouraged. Your self-confidence will be built, and your determination will be stronger, and the enablement for you to go for it will be more viable to your own benefit. And so I want to encourage every young people there. Like I said, you can be a writer, you can be a public speaker, you can be a compere, you can be a storyteller, you can be an actor, you can be a publisher, you can be a painter, you can be an artist, you can be a decorator, you can be a specialist plumber, you can be a specialist electrician, you can be a specialist carpenter. Like in Germany, I know very well that if you want to be a carpenter, you go from the elementary aspect of it to you become a professional carpenter. It is not like that in the UK. Anybody can wake up one morning and decide to be a carpenter, and then if by nature, by all means, is forced into apprenticeship, you go into apprenticeship for 6 months and get NVQ and become a carpenter, and then put his name anywhere. If you need carpenter work, you just call him. To be a carpenter or an electrician, a call-out fee in this country for an electrician or plumber is not less than £80. Just to call the person, I need you in my house to come and check my plumbing, or my roof is leaking. £80. Some go to 150. Very few Nigerians are into that venture, but I think it's an area some of us can also encourage our young people to go into and increase our presence in those business platforms into the future. Thank you very much, and I wish I've done my bit.
You've done more than your bit. You have taken us overboard. Thank you very much, Mazi Azu. Thank you very much, everybody. Because it's an exciting program. Sometimes you pour out yourself, and like the Bible, the Christian Bible says, out of the heart, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So you're all speaking out of the abundance of your heart, and it's awesome. We want to call it, we want to bring it to a stop here for today. But the way I'm looking, we might come back again. But before then, I will want our great brother, Chuma from France. Do you have anything any small input? Chuma, are you there?
Yes. It's a great pleasure being in this forum today. I've missed a lot, and I thank God I'm able to catch up today. The topic is very, very interesting and motivating. I've had my brothers go a long way, explaining so many things we can do, so many things that can be done here. So I don't need to overflog issues. I just want to make mention of 2 or 3 things that can actually help us pick up. In the first place, what we need to know is that when you're here in Europe, like Honorable Goraku made us understand that most of us are here now are second generations and not the first generations. So we have to see how we can get into this. And then Mazi Azu made us also understand that the ability of us looking inwards within ourselves will help us. So I want to stand on this to say that we have so many things we can do here in Europe. And the first thing we can do in this Europe, we must first of all tell ourselves the simple truth, and that is called the bitter truth, that you are here and you ought to dirty yourself to survive. And when we say dirty yourself means there is no big job and there is no menial job for you to stand. Now, when you leave home and come into this place, you want to stand. There are so many people who are tailors. They learn how to sew clothes in Nigeria. My dear, your job is highly needed. Today, China, they are pumping all these clothes everywhere. Fashion are changing here and there. You look through the magazines, you see different types of clothes coming out. But there are few Nigerians that sat down to redesign our traditional clothes. Everybody is wearing our clothes now. They are all trying to design, dress like Nigerians. All blacks are trying to identify with Africa. And when you talk about Africa, culture and clothes, we are talking about what Nigerians has put up, Ghanaians has picked up, South Africans are picking up. So why do you have to cry looking for what to do? If you have 5,000 euros, you can actually go out there. Sewing machines are sold for 200 euros. And then you get some embroidery machines with 1,000 euro, you can be able to get 3-4 different machines. And you look for your brother who is good in sewing trousers and you're good in sewing the kaftan, or you're good in drawing. You get 2-3 people, you sit together. Tell me, Mazi Azu is putting on traditional attire. The big coordinator is putting on traditional attire. Ogaraku is putting on traditional attire. These things cost a lot to bring from home. I know how much I spend to bring traditional attires from home. But when you have 2-3 people here, the cost of using 200 euros or 300 euros to go and buy suits, you will see that the cost of using 200 or 300 euros to go and buy a suit. With that 200, 300 euros, if you meet your brothers who are here, who are tailors, they can give you 2 or 3 good African design clothes. And when you come out during summer or even during winter, for the fact that you put on your winter jacket and come out, if you enter the offices and remove this, you will see that people will appreciate what you have. You are yourself original. You don't need to copy, to put on expensive suits so that you can be recognized, but put on a very clean and nice made, African clothes, and you will see people around you want to wear what you are wearing. That is one side. Another one is, we are here. There are so many businesses you can start with that 5,000, 10,000 if you have them. If you can be able to go, because there are rudiments on how to start businesses here in Europe. There are delivery companies. The post office companies need other people to help them distribute their couriers. If you're able to go through the training and you come out, register yourself and keep your honesty to them, they'll be giving you some cargos within a particular area. You'll be delivering all these things with your car. You have a station wagon, fold down the seats, put them all inside there, run for the day. You can be able to cover a very big place and see what you will make from there. Then another one is cleaning company. That is one thing that is very, very necessary everywhere. Forget about what it's called. It's called cleaning company. Yes, but many people are now giving it a very good name. You can call it, you can find a very good name to give to it. That is it. You walk into an office, you clean the office, you do things. At the end of the month, you are paid. If you go and do the little training, which I know you must have done, you buy the little equipment, then go to the big companies, let them sublet to you. That is another way of breaking through. Before you know it, you will establish yourself. In security also, look at us, we are all coastal. We are huge in nature. And when you see a black man standing, they say, hey, he's doing a cleaning, he's doing a security job, but he's paying you. I have a friend who is in UK. He's a director of one of the big security companies. He's a BSc holder. He has done his master's. He's going for his PhD through cleaning. He's driving a Ferrari. So, security. You attach to these companies and you go under them. They help you pick up what you want. Before you know it, you are now employing other people. That is the way it goes. And the most of all, there are two more ones I will have to make quick mention, and then we can close. First, we know about food. People sell sandwiches here and there. You can as well go for the little training. There are some food trailer trucks. They go for 2,350 to 3,000 euros, different types. In these food trailer juice you can sell French fries, that's potato fries. You can sell pizzas, sandwiches, juice, salad, ice cream, popcorn. This is summer. Check where people normally come out. Go to the centers, go to the commercial areas. Once you have your license, you can always get a simple place you can always park. People cross and will say, I'm hungry, but I'm going here. You will buy, this is called one for road. You just pick it and you're going, you lick ice cream along the road. There are people who move from big supermarkets to other supermarkets. There are malls that they're called malls, we know. They go to these places, ask for a space for this week. Can I stay here for this week? You come there, you set your trailer equipment inside the shop, those things they used to sell food and whatever. Very neat and fine. Once you have the hygiene, you're neatly dressed, and you have a certificate that you can handle all these things very well and account to the government. You dress neatly. You sit down there, you play, there's a guy that plays music. He plays Caribbean music, and at times he plays Nigerian music, at times he plays some Ghanaian music. He dresses very well. He buys, you know, all these things. He does sandwiches. He fries akara and puff puff, you know, and then put salad by the side, puts fruits. He cuts fruits there and design them, put them inside containers, cover them. People come and buy. These are ways of making extra money. We don't have to continue waiting to be employed. Like Azu said, case means copy and steal everything. You copy the way they are marketing their little things, you expand on it, or you start in a little form. You always know, as an entrepreneur, you're thinking of making profit. You should as well be thinking of the days when there are no profits, you are going to go starving for some few days while you still keep your business going. We are all out to make great things. And in Europe, we must make it. We are all here together, and don't you ever think that you can go it alone. There are businesses that you need your brothers, your sisters to work with. Build trust among yourselves and start together. That is the way Chinese people do. They capitalize on the abilities of their brothers, they bring it together and move. That is why we get the best leaders are not the most intelligent, but those who are able to bring together the best in their different fields of endeavor, and then manage them to get a good product. That is the way you can go. Don't forget, you can do food business, that is sandwiches. You can do delivery businesses. You can do tailoring with little money. I was giving you prices of all these things. For sandwiches, if you want a truck, it's going to go for between $2,300 to $3,000. Converted to euro, it will be a bit lesser. Then you need to do the little training. Don't say, I didn't tell you, you must go for the training to get a certification. Again, you can do delivery business. Like I said, tailoring, we all learned this from home. Come together. You are here, you can do it. Hairdressing, you can do it. Get a shop. Once you can gather 2-3 people, you people pay up the money and start it. Those who can barb, those who can trace and fix hair, you're ready to go. You can do it. Our people need where their hairs will be treated by their own people who knows the texture of their hair and who understands them. Instead of you using 100 euros to go and do your hair outside, you use that same 100 euro, come into this place, buy, attach, and they fix it for you. Everything comes around 80 euro. You are ready to go. You are doing something very well. And others, let's not take much of your time, but I just want you to understand with your 5,000, you can do a lot, and you must be able to believe in whoever that is next to you and whoever that wants to work with you. You must be able to believe in yourself first, trust yourself, then you can trust another person. Where you can't carry it, you don't have the money, look for somebody who has the same idea or the same skills and work together with that person. You will be able to conquer. So until we come your way again, I am still in Shenge Story Magazine. Let's listen to the moderator. Thank you very much.
That's the firehouse. Powerful. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. I'm full of excitement here. I want to say to you all, thank you so much. The echo will go around the globe. 2 weeks ago, we had calls from Germany, Guyana, and Spain. Now, while you are talking, somebody was also indicating to call, but I don't want to pick the call, from Finland. because I sent the poster to Finland also. So this is it. I thank you all for these great statements and advices and insights to how we can get started. We say we want our community in Europe to begin. Let's get into our own enterprise, our own networking, our own business initiatives, and legitimate. And all you've said here has covered it all. So I want to thank you all once again. There's so much more to say, but we have to think how to come again, then we will come out. Thank you so much, Honorable Stephen Adioye from Germany, giving us big insight into the micro, small, medium enterprise. And the three gentlemen have concluded it. So I leave you with the peace of God until we recap next time. The team, the summary of all you all have said is, all of us Africans in Europe can be anything we want to be if we have the passion and the determination. Yes, we can do it. Yes, we can change the narrative. Yes, we can be informed. We can change the system and make a big family of productive Africans, a new breed of Africans in Europe. Mazi Azu, God bless you so much, sir. Matthew Agaraku, thank you very much. And Matthew in France, and the big brother, Stephen. So until we meet again, I say, hasta la vista.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your effort. God bless you.
Sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, sir. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Au revoir tout le monde.
Au revoir tout le monde. I like that.
Voilà.
Voilà.